What's up, Raider Nation? I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Raiders news today is surprisingly good. Yeah, that's right. It's not another stressful headline or another week of frustration. We actually have some positive updates. And with Chiefs week staring us in the face, I know the energy online hasn't been exactly optimistic. But stick with me because there are a few reasons to feel like things might finally be turning in the right direction. What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. So, first things first, Brock Bowers. Yeah, that Brock Bowers. The star tight end for the Raiders finally returned to practice today. He was limited, sure, but this is the first time he's practiced since October 1st. That alone is a huge step, literally, in the right direction. Remember, Bowers injured that knee in Week 1 against the Patriots, and since then, it's been kind of an odd situation. He's missed 2 straight games, and there wasn't much clarity around his recovery timeline. Pete Carroll mentioned a few weeks ago that things were trending in a positive direction, and now it looks like he was right. From what Carroll said earlier, they were eyeing a Week 9 return, and honestly, that's starting to look more and more realistic. When I saw the report that Bowers was back out there, I had to double-take it. It's one of those, wait, hold on, is he actually back moments? I still don't think we'll see him on the field this Sunday. He's listed as doubtful, and even Brock himself said, definitely thought about it. We'll see how I'm feeling. Classic athlete answer. He's being cautious, which is a smart move. Now here's the thing. You can look at this situation 2 ways, glass half full or glass half empty. The positive spin, he's moving in the right direction. He's out there. That's huge. The cautious side, he's still not ready to play, and maybe the Raiders don't want to push it yet. But think long term. If he's not 100% healthy, I don't want him to be suited up. Not yet. This team has had enough setbacks. Let's make sure he's Brock Bowers again. The same guy who can take over a game, not someone rushing back at 80%. Now let's move to the biggest reason you probably clicked on this video, Jacobe Meyers. His situation has been a bit of a roller coaster this week, but the headline is clear. He practiced today. The team's still calling it a knee and toe issue, but come on, that's not the whole story. Anyone who's been following knows the trade rumors around him were getting real hot on Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, I don't think the missed practice was just about the toe. Here's what's interesting though. Over the last 24 hours, there hasn't been a single credible new report about Jacoby being moved. Not one. And if you follow the NFL long enough, you know how it goes. One day the phone's blowing up, the next day it's dead quiet. It's a day-to-day, week-to-week league. So maybe the trade talks cooled off. Maybe the timing just didn't line up. Pete Carroll came out and said the expectation is that Jacobe Meyers will play against the Chiefs. And that's great news, on paper. The problem is, we've heard this before. Chip Kelly literally said Thursday that Jacoby was going to practice, and then he didn't. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I still think this could come down to more than just how Meyers feels physically. There's a business side here. Maybe the agent has a say. Maybe the front office is weighing options. Look, my job is to give you my take. And here it is. I don't think Jacobe Meyers plays another game for the Raiders. I said that earlier this week, and I'm sticking with it. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. But with the way those trade rumors escalated midweek and how suddenly quiet things got after, it feels like we're at the end of the road. Even though he practiced today, from what I was told, it wasn't a full workload, more of a limited session. Definitely more than Bowers got in, but not starter-level reps. Still, he's out there, and it shows that things are stabilizing a bit. Maybe that's just enough to keep the Chiefs guessing. Because one thing's for sure, Andy Reid's crew now has to prepare like Jacobe Meyers might play, and that matters. Whether he actually suits up or not, it forces Kansas City to spend time scheming for him. That's a win in itself.
Now, let's move on to the latest injury report, because there's actually a lot to unpack heading into this matchup. Brock Bowers, as we said, is doubtful. Dylan Laube, limited all week with that hamstring injury, but he doesn't have a game status, so I fully expect him to go. Jacobe Meyers, questionable. Alex Bachman, also limited. And that's an important one that could fly under the radar. Bachman has been really valuable on special teams, especially as a punt returner, but also as a depth slot receiver. If Meyers doesn't go, a lot of people expect to see Jack Betch or Dante Thornton Jr. get snaps, but don't sleep on Bachman. He's a guy this coaching staff clearly trusts. Hardworking, smart, physical. Kind of like a poor man's Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola. Losing him could hurt more than people think, especially in the return game. Then there's Max Crosby. Yeah, he was added to the report today with a back issue, limited participation, but come on, we all know Max. you'd probably have to remove his spine to keep him off the field. Still, back problems are no joke. Even if he plays, and he will, it's something to monitor. He's the emotional heartbeat of this defense, and if he's not at 100%, it's noticeable. Kansas City, meanwhile, had almost all of their players practice in full today. The only one who's officially out is offensive tackle Josh Simmons, listed with personal reasons. And let me just say, there's more going on there. I talked to a few people who follow the Chiefs closely, and it sounds like something's brewing behind the scenes. Nothing I want to speculate on, but it's definitely more than just a personal day. For the Raiders, that could be a small window of opportunity. If Simmons is out, that's a weak point on the Chiefs' offensive line. Malcolm Kuntz, Max Crosby, this is your time. Attack that edge, collapse that pocket, make Mahomes uncomfortable early and often. That's the formula if you want to hang in this one. Now, let's pivot to something that I found interesting, Pete Carroll's comments about the NFL trade deadline. He was asked directly how the results of the next two games, against the Chiefs and then the Jaguars after the bye, would affect the team's approach. Here's what he said. I don't think we approach it any differently because of the schedule. We're competing to get as good as we can possibly get. Classic Pete Carroll answer. Says a lot without saying much at all. Honestly, at this point, I think Pete's gotten really good at talking in circles. All enthusiasm, not much detail. But I get it. What's he supposed to say? Yeah, we're about to sell everyone? Of course not. The truth is that the next two games are going to define how the Raiders handle the deadline. Win both, and suddenly they're 4-4 heading into the bye. That's the kind of momentum that can change your whole season outlook. You beat Kansas City, you can beat anybody. But lose both, and it's time to face reality, you are a seller. If they do buy, there's one name I could see making sense. Reek Woolen from Seattle. He's a Carroll guy, athletic, young, fits the scheme. But realistically, don't expect major moves. This team feels more like a seller right now than a buyer, especially if Jacobe Meyers is on the block. It wouldn't make sense to trade your top receiver 1 week and then try to add somewhere else. One last note before we wrap up. The Raiders worked out a punter today. Yep, punters are people too. His name's Brock Miller, went to Southern Utah, undrafted in 2014, and he's bounced around the league since then. 49ers, Giants, Rams, plus stints in the XFL and USFL. Last season, he actually led the USFL in punting yards, so the guy's legit. A.J. Cole, they were a little banged up a few weeks ago, so this is more about insurance than anything else. Cole's still expected to play, but they're being smart and getting some long snapping reps in with Miller while they can, and that's the kind of thing I appreciate. Quiet, responsible roster management. No panic moves, just making sure you've got depth if something goes sideways. So that's where we're at heading into the weekend. Brock Bowers trending up, Jacobe Meyers back in the mix, Max Crosby battling through, and Pete Carroll holding steady before the deadline. You put all that together, and yeah, today's Raiders news actually feels pretty good. It's not perfect, it's not all solved, but it's progress. And right now, progress is something this fan base deserves.